Right, okay folks, welcome to another Friday Waffle. I hope you're all keeping well. It's the weekend at least, which is always good. Weather-wise, it's not been bad. We've actually had some kind of decent weather. It's funny when we refer to decent weather, we always think of it as being warm. But not everyone likes the heat. Some people would look upon the cool weather as being decent weather, but I do like the sun. Not too hot, but you know, dry and nice that you can get out. So yeah, I hope you've all had a decent week. What have I been doing with myself? After about almost 3 weeks of not being at Cook School, which is a martial art that I'm doing, I got back on Monday. Got back on Monday, and then I was there on Wednesday as well. Now, unfortunately, I was getting flung about as what you do. It's part of martial arts, and I don't recall it actually happening. But when I finished, my left shoulder was giving me a bit of pain, and last night, oh my goodness, I was in agony. It's still really tender, really sore if I press it in. So yeah, obviously landed wrong. So last night I put some deep heat in it, and I took some ibuprofen, but it didn't make a monkey's difference. I woke up, I hardly slept, and before long it was 7 o'clock and time to get up in the morning. So I look like shit. It's because I'm knackered, really tired. So I can't not mention what's been going on in the news in the UK on, I don't know what day it was, Monday, Tuesday. The big headline in the paper was, excuse me, a nurse called Lucy, what's her name again? I can't even remember her bloody name. Let's have a quick look. Lucy Letby, yep, she's a nurse who was, she looked after babies, babies that were ill. She was tasked with looking after them, and God, you know what, it's weird. One thing I've noticed in the last 3-4 weeks is there are bloody loads of spiders. I've had a lot of spiders in my house the last couple of weeks. And I just felt something hit my arm. Wait a wee minute. No, there's nothing there. I felt something hit my arm there and I bloody freaked out. Anyway, yeah, this nurse has been convicted of murdering, I think it's 6 babies and attempting to murder 7 more, who fortunately survived, though from what I gather, some of them have been, severely disabled. It's a very sad case, and what I think makes it difficult for people to kind of comprehend is when you think of, I mean, she is classed as a serial killer. Apparently she's the most prolific children's killer in the UK ever, which isn't something you want to be have the label. But when you think of serial killers, you automatically, rightly or wrongly, you automatically think of a male, probably, I don't know, unshaven, unkempt looking, and then when you find out that she's like I think she's about 31, 32 years old, very pretty looking girl, it's weird, it's mental. Why? Nobody will ever, other than herself, will understand why or what drove her to commit such atrocities. I've watched a few videos about it, and one person said that some people have they like to sort of almost like play God. They like the fact that they've got the power to end a life. And somebody else said that she may have experienced a high helping the parents of the deceased baby. I mean, apparently she was writing sympathy cards to the parents of some of the children that she'd killed. Yeah, anyway, listen, I don't know why I mentioned it, I just wanted to get it out there, but horrible thing, not good. Right, anyway, I'm going to try and improve the tone slightly. I am I am on the cusp, is that the right phrase? I'm on the cusp of breaking 4,000 subscribers. Now, I think I might have talked about when I got over 1,000, and I definitely never mentioned when I got over 2,000 or 3,000. And since I'm on the brink, I mean, as of today, I'm on 3,998. Yesterday I was on 3,999, and I thought I'm going to mention it, but you know what, it's going to end up going down. It doesn't matter. I'm almost there. I'm almost at 4,000, and I just thought I would spend a few minutes talking about my time on YouTube, how I got started, the highs and lows, the good and the bad, because trust me, there is good and bad in doing a YouTube channel. If you've been a long time person that watches my channel, you've probably heard this story multiple times, but I said I'm like that favourite old grandad that repeats himself, but because he's such a nice guy, you don't mind listening to him retelling the story over and over again. Yeah, I started on YouTube. I started making videos middle of 2013. Until that time, YouTube was a website where you could watch people falling off skateboards, or you could watch videos of cats or dogs or whatever. That was kind of as far as YouTube went. I didn't really understand what it was. I certainly didn't realise that as an individual you could actually upload your own videos. I do apologise, by the way, because this camera, it's a good camera, but it seems to, the light seems to fluctuate all the time. It seems to kind of get brighter then darker. I don't know how to stop that. But anyway, yeah, 2013, and there was just one night I was sitting in my games room in my old house, and I thought, what can I play? And I just thought, I wasn't bored, but there was really nothing that I wanted to play. And I thought, why don't I record a video of myself playing a game? But here's what I'll do, I'll make it interesting. I'll play a bad game. I'll play a really terrible game. And so I did that. The first game that I played was Sewer Shark, which was on the Sega Mega CD. And yeah, it's pretty shit. And what I decided to call it, I called it the Meme Meister 10-minute mashup. I just came out of that out of the blue. So I started making videos, and I was making one every single day. I think that's how I started. I thought, yeah, I'm going to record a video every day. So this thing went on for a good number of years, and then I think 2014 I used to watch Steve Benway. I don't watch Steve Benway now because he doesn't really make content that really interests me, but Steve Benway was the person that really kind of made me realise that you could actually have a channel and all this kind of stuff. Steve used to have a thing called the Friday Talkie, and it was every Friday, and it would be him just talking about what he'd been doing, and he would usually pick some kind of topic that was kind of related to gaming. And I used to really look forward to watching that. You know, it was kind of part of my tradition. On a Friday night, I would usually have my daily bath, and I would sit with the phone and I would watch the Friday Talkie. Really loved it. So anyway, I started doing a Friday Waffle, And then over the preceding years, I've been doing lots of other things. Here I am, what would it be? I'm more than 10 years into YouTube, 4,000 subscribers. It doesn't sound like much. I mean, when you look at a lot of channels, people have, 2 million, 10 million. I mean, I'll give you an example. One of the channels that I watch is a guy who eats, he's like a competitive eater, called Meat. What is it called again? Beard Meats Food. Yeah, Beard Meats Food. Yeah, that's it. And this guy comes from, I think it's Leeds, and he's a really, really nice guy. He's got a big, massive beard, really impressive beard, and he basically takes on these eating challenges. Now, about 3-4 years ago, he was on 100,000 subscribers. He's now on 4 million, or it's coming up to 4 million, I think it is. That is just insane. So yeah, compared to big channels, 4,000 doesn't sound like very much. But you know what? Sometimes it's easy to to not appreciate how many 4,000 people are. That's a lot of people. You cram 4,000 people into a room and then say, right, go up and stand up and talk to them. That's a lot of people. It's a serious lot of people. And what the thing that I need to you need to understand as well is the content that I talk about is very, very niche. I mean, I'm 55 years old. I'll be 56 in October. I'm an old guy, and I'm talking about old systems and old games. So my sort of scope of appeal is very, very small. I mean, if I look at my stats, I think something like 99.9% of my audience is male and they're above 40 years old. But pretty much is what I am, you know what I mean? So I'm not going to get young people watching it. But yeah, 4,000 is a lot. It's, I always remember when I first started YouTube and I just started doing it, and then I got like 2 subscribers, and that really, really was a big thing, thinking there's actually 2 people that exist that actually want to watch what I'm doing. I'm just a regular dude making shit for my own entertainment, and there's actually 2 people out there that want to watch this. So yeah, to reach 4,000 is pretty nuts. I mean, there's if you look at other channels that similar ages to me, similar topics, 4,000 is kind of the ceiling. You find, I mean, there's a few other channels that do have more, like Steve Benway. He's been going for a lot longer. But there's a lot of channels similar size. When you talk about size of a channel, people regularly mean, or generally mean, the number of subscribers, which really it's unimportant, because it's who actually watches your videos. You look at, on average, I get, 200 views per video, which is what, 5% of my subscribers. 10% would be 200. No, 10% would be 400. 5% is going to be 200. So yeah, on average, my videos get about 200 views. I did put up a Battlezone Arcade Perfect last week, and it's got over 800 views. Mental. I don't really understand how the whole algorithm with YouTube works, but some videos just seem to kind of capture people's attention. They get the interest. But yeah, anyway, 4,000 subscribers. I think that's a great amount. I am stupidly proud of getting to that level. Is it going to go much higher? I don't think so. I mean, I've been going for, I've been going for 11 years, so what's that? That's about 400 subscribers a year. It's very, very slow. I mean, as anyone that's got their own channel will realise and appreciate, you can you can pick up 3 or 4 subscribers and then the next day you'll lose 10, and that happens to me all the time. But you know, it doesn't matter. I don't do this for money. I do have monetization on my channel, which means for every view that I get on a video, Google will give me some money, and it's fuck all. I mean, I don't even get, it's usually about £8 a month. That is what I get. So if you're ever thinking about getting into YouTube to make money, you know, I make £8 a month. You're never going to be rich unless, of course, you're young and you've got some sort of, like, I don't know, a topic, or the channel is based around something that's going to be popular, like, I don't know, Minecraft or Roblox or whatever, reaction videos, all that kind of stuff. You know, if you're 55 years old and you want to talk about old video games, forget ever becoming rich. You know, don't give up your day job. But anyway, yeah, I'm waffling, which is appropriate since it's a Friday Waffle, but I'm talking shite. What has been my highs and lows of the channel? I'm going to actually tie, when I say high and low, I'm going to mean good things and bad things as well. Bad things about YouTube is it can become a chore. It can become something you're too tired. I mean, there's been plenty of times in the past where I've thought, I need to do my Friday Waffle, and I simply can't be bothered because I've got nothing to talk about. I'm too tired. And I've always felt a sort of loyalty to the people that watch my channel. I always want to try and give them something, whether it is a shit 20 minutes of me talking nonsense. I've always wanted to try and kind of keep doing it. And that's why on many occasions with the Friday Waffle, I've said that there's going to be times where I'm not going to do it, purely and simply because when you've been talking about this hobby for 11 years, 10 years, I've got really nothing else to say in the matter. You know, unless I start repeating myself. Yeah, so it can become a chore. There's a big, well, not a big part of it, but one thing that if you're not used to sort of doing something like this, and especially if you take criticism personally, then you may want to rethink about doing the YouTube, because part of the territory that comes with making videos is you are going to get people that simply do not like you. It might not be personal, but they might make comments about your videos. They might, I've had numerous people slagging me off, not sort of personally, but just saying that I don't know what I'm talking about, or why don't I make any effort when it comes to playing games, or I've had people calling me stupid and what have you, and I used to kind of take it personally, and then after a while you think to yourself, you know what, they're the idiots. As I've always said, when you're doing it as a hobby, it's my channel, I'm doing it for me. If somebody actually enjoys watching what I'm doing, then that's fantastic. But if somebody's got a problem with watching my channel or whatever, I mean, it's ludicrous. I've made videos, I don't know, playing a particular game, whatever, and you get people giving it a thumbs down. And I've never really understood the point of thumbs down, because unless a video was particularly offensive or whatever, if you're searching YouTube and you find somebody playing, I don't know, Manic Miner, and you watch the video, why would you thumb it down? You might not agree, you might think the guy's not very good at playing the game, but why would you give it a thumbs down? I've never understood that. Fortunately, YouTube have now done away, they do hide the thumbs down. You get a wee percentage that'll tell you 100% thumbs up. If it's 90% thumbs up, it means that you've got 10% thumbs down, but it doesn't matter. But yeah, I've had some people being really offensive to me on YouTube, and I used to, in the early days, I used to kind of defend myself and sort of like name call back. But you know what, that's the wrong thing to do. The best way to deal with people like that is delete the comment. You either just ignore it, or else you can delete the comment and just forget about it. Because you need to understand, when you're putting a video on YouTube, you are in theory putting it out to the entire World Wide Web. Anybody could watch the video if they find it. So, you know, don't take it personally when somebody's been a twat, because there are a lot of twats. There really are. Other downsides to doing YouTube, yeah, like I says, it can become a chore, and there's been a lot of times over the 10 years where I've just not got any interest. I mean, I do love the hobby. I love talking about video games. I love playing them, but there's just it can be difficult doing what I'm doing at the moment. I'm sitting here in my living room and I'm talking to an inanimate object. It's not like I'm getting any sort of feedback. Different when you do live streams, because obviously you've got the live aspect and people are talking to you, albeit through text, so you do get that two-way interaction. But when you're doing something like this, it's just one way, and it's difficult. I mean, to give you an example, this is the third take of the Friday Waffle. I started doing two, I got about 5 minutes into it, and I just stopped talking. I thought, that's shit, and I deleted it, and I started again, and I got about a couple of minutes into it, stopped it, and then this is my third take. So yeah, it can be quite challenging. But yeah, you know what, I would say by and large YouTube for me has been a very positive thing. I mean, the great things out of YouTube, it's given me a hobby, it's given me an interest, it's given me an outlet to be creative, you know, try and do some interesting videos. I mean, I don't know how many videos I've put out now, certainly over 2,000, maybe 2,500 videos I've put out. A lot of them are absolute garbage, lots of mediocre ones, but there's also been some videos that I've done and I'm really proud of for different reasons. And yeah, it's a good hobby. It doesn't actually cost a lot of money to do. All you need is either a camera like that, or if you've got one of these things, a smartphone. I mean, probably the first 5 years, all my videos were just recorded using a phone. That's all you need. Phone and an internet connection, and you can create a YouTube channel. So it's been a good hobby. It's kept me busy. There's been times over these 10 years where I've been maybe down in the dumps, whatever, and it's always given me something interesting. And you can't beat nice comments. You know, when you're making a video, you put it out, and then somebody says to you that, you know, the video cheered them up, or they love watching you, or whatever it is. That's a great feeling. It's a bit like, to a degree, it's a bit like a pop performer or a rock star. You know, they say nothing better playing to a live crowd, and it's kind of similar, not quite the same with YouTube. You put out a video, when you put out a video, it's something that you've done yourself. It's just you in front of a camera or recording gameplay, whatever. And when somebody says that they enjoyed that, that's a great boost. And to me, that is the only payback that I want. You know, as I've mentioned loads of times over the years, if it got to a point where people were simply not interested in watching my videos, they were switching off, I was getting no interaction, I would stop it. Absolutely stop it. You know, you've got to do it for the right reasons. In these 10 years, I have made a lot of friends, a lot of... some people don't look at somebody that you know on YouTube as being a friend. Well, of course they're a friend. They're a real life person. You may not have actually spoken to them in person, but the fact that you're interacting with them on a regular basis, you know, and quite a few of these people I've met in real life, it's great. You know, I mean, I've got a Discord channel, and it's a right hive, it's a right kind of vibrant community. I don't know how many people are on it. I don't actually go on it all that often. But it's a channel thing that is relating to my video channel. You know, I've got lots of different sections, and it's great when you see the interaction of people, because like it or lump it, there's a lot of people that are, you know, out there, whether they're young or old or whatever. There's a lot of people out there who don't really interact in real life with people, and you know, things like YouTube and that is their window to the outside world, and so to give people that opportunity to kind of come together with like-minded people, it's great. The thing about my hobby, old video games, I don't have many friends. Like, when I say real life friends, I mean friends that I see physically, rather than online. I don't have that many friends that are still into video games, and it's great being able to engage with people, whether comments or whether doing a live stream with them, and just talking shite, talking about all these obscure Commodore 64 games that you played. You know, it's wonderful being able to interact with people that have got the same kind of hobbies. So that is a massive thing. Having the kind of creative outlook, or you know, opportunity, making real life friends. Over the years, we've done things. I mean, we had a live stream, a 12-hour live stream about, I don't know, 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago, probably 4 years ago. It was probably before COVID, and we did a live stream for 12 hours. We had some great guests on, and excuse me, we raised £1,000, which all went to charity, which was absolutely awesome. Really is. So yeah, it's been good. I mean, as I say, it's over the 10 years. 10 years is a long time to still be doing YouTube. I mean, I would be interested to know what the average life of a YouTube channel is. It would not surprise me in the slightest if there was a lot of channels that never ever went beyond 10 years. I mean, since I've got into kind of doing YouTube, there's a lot of people that I used to know that had channels, and then they've dropped off because real life comes along, and that's the thing. It doesn't matter what happens, but when something happens in real life, things like YouTube can be the first thing to go. There's been plenty of times over the years where I'm planning to do something, and then something comes along, and you know, I always think to myself, YouTube is always just a hobby. It always will be that. You know, if somebody wanted to pay me a daft amount of money to do this full time, I would absolutely jump in it. But that's never ever going to happen. But yeah, there's a lot of naysayers about YouTube. They'll complain about the algorithms and the way Google runs YouTube and all this kind of stuff, and they'll just complain constantly. And it was one of my friends who's got a YouTube channel, Dave. He made a good sort of summary. He said, if you're somebody who wants to kind of make videos and you didn't know about YouTube, and then Google came along and says, by the way, I believe you want to make videos, and you're like, yep, I do. And they said to you, well, listen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a platform to record content. It can be completely unlimited. We're not going to charge you anything at all. We're also going to give you the opportunity to interact with viewers via comments. We're also going to allow you to make money. We will pay you money for how many views a video gets. We're also going to allow you, if you're doing a live stream, allow people to give you money, make donations. We're also going to allow you to have people give you money on a monthly basis. So it's not going to cost you a penny. The only thing we're going to do is, if somebody gives you a payment for like a live stream, for a comment, we will take, I don't know, 20% of that. But we're going to do this all for free. You would absolutely bite their hand off for it. So, you know, Google aren't this bunch of bastards. Yeah, they're like any of these things, these big sort of companies. They're not perfect. But at the end of the day, this whole thing that I'm doing right now is costing me nothing. Yeah, I do pay money for I pay money for my podcast platform, and I also pay money for this other system that I use if I'm doing kind of interview things. And that's another thing I've completely forgot to mention. One of the best bits about me personally doing YouTube is it's given me an opportunity to meet people that I kind of looked up to as a kid. Back in the good old days when, you know, Zap 64, I've been able to interview reviewers, I've been able to interview people who made games that I played, you know, and I'm not going to call them friends as such. And then I've been able to interview guys like Dominic Diamond and all these people that I watched on TV. Now, if it wasn't for YouTube, I would never ever have the opportunity to interview them or meet them or anything, you know. So it's been a fantastic thing. I've been really lucky over the years. I mean, who have I kind of spoken to? Jim Bagley, Kevin Toms, Sean Southern, Andrew Morris, Gary Liddon, Dave Perry, who was on Games Master, Dominic Diamond, the Bitmap brothers, who else? Richard Leinfelder, all these guys that have made all these games over the years, and to be able to have a chat to them. John Hare, fucking hell, John Hare, Sensible Software, he wrote the best football game ever, Sensible Soccer. Being able to chat to these people online is brilliant, you know, and then you go to these kind of gaming shows and you get to meet them, and you know, so, and it's because, you know, I'm able to go up and say, oh, you remember me, you were on my channel, yeah. So it's given me an outlet to meet all these kind of people, and that is fantastic, because if it wasn't for YouTube, quite simply, I wouldn't have that opportunity. But yeah, you know what? It's been good. There's been plenty times in the last 10 years where I've been wavering. I'm thinking, should I just give up YouTube? But then it just takes a couple of people to say, I would miss what you do. I mean, I've had some amazing comments over the years. You know, people have said to me that I've helped them over a tough period in their life, listening to me talking nonsense about games and all that, and getting that kind of feedback is phenomenal. And I suppose one of the I've completely forgot to mention that part of the reason that, I mean, well, because I've got my own channel, I was very lucky to be asked to host some talks at Play Blackpool, which is a retro gaming event. And I've done it twice, and you know, no surprise, being able to interview John Romero, who wrote Doom, was a massive highlight. And if it wasn't for the fact that I was doing YouTube, I would never have had that opportunity. So yeah, it's allowed me to meet some amazing people. I'm not just talking about people that are like well known, I'm talking about just regular guys like myself. I've made some great friends, some friendships that I can guarantee are going to last for life. So people that say YouTube is not real, you don't meet real friends and all that, they don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, so I just really want to say a sincere thank you to absolutely everybody that's ever watched any of my channel, you know, whether it's just one video or whatever. But I've been blessed from the point of view that there's a group of people that consistently watch my videos, they comment when I do live streams, they jump into live streams. Some of them have been very, very generous, have given me donations of money and that kind of stuff, which has been massively appreciated. But yeah, it's, you know, YouTube, I would not be doing this thing were it not for you guys keeping me going, encouraging me. There's been loads of times where I've been really low and, like I says, wanting to give it up, and you guys are always there. I'll keep it going. Will I still be doing this in 10 years time? Highly unlikely, But you know what? When I started doing this 10 years ago or 11 years ago, there's no way in a million years that I thought I would still be doing this 11 years on. As long as I've got an enthusiasm and an interest in video games, then I will, I'll continue to do it. You know what I mean? And as I've said before, when it gets to a point where it becomes a chore, then I'll definitely stop, because it is a hobby, and that's why I've always resisted people. I've had a lot of people coming up to me over the years and asking me why I don't do Patreon. Now, if you don't know what Patreon is, it's a system or a scheme or whatever you want to call it, where people can make it's almost like a direct debit payment to you every month. They'll give you £5 a month, £10 a month, £20 a month, whatever, and that's their way of supporting the channel and keep the channel going. It always annoys me when people say, "Oh, support the channel, support the channel." If you're doing this and you've got another job, then you don't need any financial support. And there's been a few people, and I'm not going to go naming names because I did have a big rant. There's a few people, or one person in particular that I know in real life, who has been begging people for money to help him with his computer and all this kind of stuff, which I absolutely abhor. I hate that. I can't stand people being scrounging bastards. My channel doesn't need any support. I've got a job. This is a hobby. The only outlay I have, I says I pay for a podcast website, hosting site, and I also pay for StreamYard, which I use for all languages, and that costs me about £30 a month. So anybody that does give me something, it helps me a wee bit with that. But you know, I don't need support. I don't need any financial support for a channel. Very few people need their YouTube channel supported. Yeah, there's people who have taken the bold choice of doing it full time. Alright, if they've not got a full-time job, then they are going to rely on income through their channel. Would I do it full time? If somebody was prepared, if somebody came up to me and says they're going to pay me X amount of money every month and I could live on that, absolutely I would. I would love to do this full time, because why wouldn't I? It's my hobby. But so anyway, getting back to the old Patreon thing, people have said to me, why don't you do Patreon? You know, I'd like to help, you know, give you something back. And here's the thing, I don't have any problem with Patreon, because there's channels that I watch on a regular basis, and why shouldn't you have the opportunity to say thank you to that person? If you're not watching YouTube, you might watch Netflix. You're going to give them £8 a month to watch all their stuff. So if you spend a lot of time watching somebody's channel week in, week out, and you want to give them something as a thank you, then great, everybody's happy. It's not for me, and here's the reason. I'm not comfortable with people giving me money for something that I do as a hobby. And more importantly, I think if you start taking money, you know, regular money from people, then the whole dynamic of your channel changes. Instead of it just being a hobby that you can do, or you know, if you can be bothered, if you decide one night, I'm too tired, I'm not going to do a Friday Waffle tonight, you don't have to bother doing it. If you're getting money from somebody, then that changes. You're going to feel obliged to do it. Here's the thing, a lot of the videos that I put out, I am quite critical of myself. I mean, even this waffle, sometimes when I'm doing it, I've seen me start recording it, and I'll talk for half an hour and I'll stop it, and I'll actually think to myself, that was shit. I was just talking crap. Why would anybody want to listen to this? So if I was taking money from somebody, I would be thinking, I'm shortchanging them, I'm not giving them value for money. When you're doing it for free, it doesn't matter. Don't get me wrong, I want to try and give as best an output as I possibly can. I want people to enjoy what I do. But if if it went ass for elbow and people stopped watching it, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just a hobby. I could knock it in the head at any point. So that's why I would never get into the Patreon thing, whatever, you know. But no, if you're ever thinking about starting up a channel, top tips: get something that you're interested in, genuinely interested. Don't try and do something that's going to get big views just to get big views. You know, if I wanted to try and make money on YouTube, then I would be talking about something completely different. I wouldn't be talking about Commodore 64 games or stuff like that. I'd be talking about, I don't know, reaction videos or talking about current affairs, that kind of nonsense. But yeah, if you are going to get into YouTube, do it for the right reasons. You're not going to become a millionaire unless you're really lucky. You know, probably, I don't know, 1 in a million channels makes good money. Here's the thing: a lot of the channels that I used to watch that are full-time YouTubers, I think they're as dull as dishwater, because it's all about adverts and this is my sponsor, if you use the code blah 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 you'll get 5% off. I just can't be bothered with that at all, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So anyway, I've been rambling quite enough. I'm just going to, I have got a few questions from last week and the week before. Just bear with me, talk amongst yourselves while I look. Right, from 2 weeks ago. Right, Wee Bob Art, thank you very much, Bob. Question for next time: if you could choose one person to interview for Blimey It's Only. Now, Blimey It's Only is the feature. That's it. That's the name I've given the feature, where I talk or interview. I don't interview them. I have a chat. Yeah. If you could choose one person to interview for Blimey It's Only, who would it be, alive or not, and the reasons why? I've made no secret. The person from a video games point of view that I would love to interview is Jeff Minter. Jeff is one of the most honest, genuine video game coders you could ever meet. I mean, he's been in the hobby now for, I don't know, he was making games for the VIC-20. He's been in the hobby for probably about 45 years. He's still as enthusiastic today as he was back then. I mean, I was lucky enough to watch his, to sit in on his panel interview that he did down at the Zap Live thing a few weeks ago, and I was chatting to Jeff afterwards just before we left, and he has got a real authentic love of the hobby, and he can talk. When he talks, he just hooks you. He's got a really calming voice that just draws you in, and he tells wonderful stories. Brilliant. I would absolutely love to speak to Jeff. I mean, I've tried to get him multiple times over the years, unsuccessfully, unfortunately. If Jeff is ever watching this, please come on my channel, Jeff. I think we'd have a good time, because I would always ask the questions that I want them to answer. I think it'd be a good one. So yeah, it would be 100% Jeff Minter. Bob, thank you very much, mate. Right, there's no questions there, no questions there, no questions there. Somebody called Bud, what is it? Bud Buck 055850. Hi Main Meister, when's your game coming out? Now, I presume you're talking about Way of the X-Loading Pish. Now, if you don't know what that is, about 2 years ago, when, I mean, I still do live streams, but 2 years ago, one of my friends, it's a young lady that watches my channel, she told me that she was wanting to write a game all about my channel. So we had a wee competition to name the game, and there was going to be quite a lot of kind of characters. I was going to be the main protagonist in the game, you know, completely baseball cap and what have you. it was going to be a kind of platform type game, and there was going to be lots of little characters, like kind of people that watch my channel, and we were lucky enough. Holly, my friend, she put together a kind of a small demo, and we were lucky enough to get that featured in the new Zap, magazine. And now, unfortunately, through real life, the game has never been released. I was talking to Holly a couple of weeks ago. I mean, Holly kind of disappeared from my channel for quite a long time because, you know, it's the same with me making YouTube videos. Real life comes along, and just things like YouTube and writing video games for YouTube channels, these are completely unimportant. So Holly did disappear for a couple of, I would say over a year. We have been back in touch, and she's promised me that the game will get a release. It's probably had a more protracted gestation period than Duke Nukem, but yeah, Holly has reassured me that the game will get released, so I'm hoping it does. I'm really hoping it does, because I've seen little sneaky previews of the game, and Holly she's really, you know, enthusiastic about it. We've got lots of good ideas. We've got a lot of really clever people, talented individuals for doing the music and doing the artwork and that kind of stuff. So yeah, to answer your question, I have been told by my friend that it will get a release. When, I'm not too sure, but trust me, when I know more, you guys are going to know more. So that was a video, that was the questions for that video, and last week's Friday Waffle. Let's have a wee look. It was a live one with my mate Dale. Right, Steve's Gaming. Hi mate, got a couple of questions for you. Number one, hang on, I'm just drink my tea. I can see it's getting dark, but I can't be arsed putting the light on. Do you have a phobia? If you do, are you willing to tell us what it is? Only if you're happy to do so. I'll no longer tell anyone my main phobia, as I did tell someone once and came to seriously regret it. You need to let us know what that is, Steve. Do I have a phobia? The only phobia, is it a phobia? I think it is. It's looking at patterns of like holes, regular patterns. So if you imagine like a, what is it called? Let me actually have a quick, there is actually a name for this. Begins with T, fear of holes. Fear of holes. Yeah. It's called trypophobia. And I'll just read out what it says here. Experts don't know why some people develop trypophobia. One theory is the brain associates clusters of holes with danger. For example, you may associate a pattern of small holes with the skin of a venomous snake or the eyes of a tarantula. Yeah, dearie me, that is horrible. See that there? That makes my flesh crawl. Yeah, it's weird. When I look at things like that, it actually makes me itchy. Hang on, I'm going to turn the light on. I did say I would turn it on, but I'm lying. There we go. Whoa, I'm full orange looking now. Yeah, that's a phobia. It doesn't really impact on my life that much, but yeah, from time to time I'll see something and it just makes my flesh crawl. Have I got any other phobias? I mean, I used to be terrified of spiders. They don't really bother me much now. I don't want to hold them, but I'm certainly not scared of them at all. Snakes, I mean, I've just got the normal kind of fear of like things like snakes and sharks, but I don't have a phobia. I think that's probably it, Steve, to be fair. Now, there was a second part to this, hang on. Zoom back in again. Number 2, what is your favourite puzzle game on the Commodore 64 and Spectrum? Oh, bloody hell. See, here's the thing. I had a Commodore 64 back in the day, then I got an Amiga. So I've got a really good knowledge and history of Commodore 64 games. But I only got a Spectrum, maybe 10 years ago, and I've not played that many games in it. So I can't really think of any puzzle game as such in the Spectrum. So I'm just going to pick one for the Commodore 64. One of my favourite puzzle games, and you know what, I read that question earlier on, and it's going to make me actually play it tonight, I think, is Confusion by, what was the name of the company that made Confusion? It had Rob Hubbard backing music, whatever you want to call it, music, a SID track, and that was great, really, really good. You've got to kind of join up. It's like one of these little sliding puzzle type games where you've got to kind of join up. Is it a bomb that's got to kind of, it's a kind of fuse type thing, and you've got to move squares so the bomb doesn't, I think you've got to defuse the bomb, something like that. I can't remember, it's been a long time. I did like that. I'm not really a big puzzle fan as such. I mean, what other puzzle games do I like? Not in the C64, but Tetris is an awesome game. I mean, that's probably my favourite puzzle game. And if you're going to play it, you've got to play it on the Game Boy. Trying to think, can't really think of any other puzzle ones, Steve, so apologies about the pants answer. It's going to be Confusion on the Commodore 64. I say Spectrum wise, I can't even think of any puzzle games because I didn't have a Spectrum back in the day, so I can't really, I've got nothing to kind of relate to, if that makes any sense. But anyway, Steve, thank you very much, and I think that is it. Yeah, that is it, guys. So listen, I am going to get going. I will be, hopefully all going well, I'll be back on Sunday for, am I still going to, yeah, I'm going to be back on Sunday for continuing with the Sharp X68000 stream, and I will continue to be putting out videos again as well. So listen folks, I hope you enjoyed watching that, and again, listen, thank you so much to every single person that's ever taken time to watch any of my videos, to comment, to like, whatever. You know, 4,000 is an awesome amount. Hopefully by the time this video goes out, I am on 4,000. But as we all know, with YouTube, you can get to a certain amount of subscribers and then it will drop. So there's a high chance when this video does go out, I'm not on 4,000, but you know what, I'm there or thereabouts, so stuff it. So anyway folks, until next time, as always, thank you very much for watching.